good evening and thank you for joining us on Atlantic Television Network. Welcome to ATM Press Roundtable. Press Roundtable is a convergence of media practitioners who dissect news and current affairs to provide the right balance. So today on Press Roundtable, we will be discussing, first of all, NLC, ASU, TC, and 29 others join nationwide strike. Okay, and also still on the nationwide strike, aviation unions join shutdown airport. On a missing person, student expelled for demanding ransom. Drug abuse and the LEA arrests grandpa seized 2.1 billion naira codeine. When we come back from this break, I'm going to introduce my guests. Please stay tuned.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
you human trafficker.
Honorable on them. They are not picking our calls. They made up their I hope nobody carry belle.
Why you ask, oh?
Because this road where they see, so it no guarantee safe delivery.
We just dey vote for government, but we not get good governance.
At all.
Road so no dey, light outside. The infrastructure we can't turn to be forbidden fruit for the city.
Corruption, quell everything. Hello?
Hello, madam. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Mrs. Ayeni. I am calling from the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs.
Okay. Okay, I've been expecting your call.
Madam, remove this your phone from loudspeaker.
No verse. Now my phone be like that. Hello?
Are you there?
I hear, I'm hearing you.
Yes. We saw a copy of your invoice for computers, printers, and laptops.
Yes. Are you working on them now?
Ma, the prices you quoted are way too high now.
Madam, sorry, please don't cost.
We found the laptop you said is 1.8 million naira for 600,000 naira.
Hello?
Now my body network there.
I can't hear you. Network is bad.
Madam, we can hear you. Continue.
Hello, I can't hear you. I will call you back.
That behavior not good now.
Madam, now this kind behavior they kill our country. You suppose do things differently, make Nigeria for better.
Corruption not in my country. This message is brought to you by the Akin Fadeyi Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
corruption not in my country.
I don't get a lot. Boy, they won't booga me small. They say, man, give them bribe. I say nothing. Okay now, we'll go block later. You remember that contract we will do that time now? They don't pay.
But first, you see the house rent with the old since. We go first call caretaker, take the money, slap him.
Beg, see, you know, say I get annual levy why they pay for club. Where me and boys they shark beer in our house, I could pay that one. You remember say me and tell you I go buy you motor. I go buy now.
Okay, they pay you money now. We don't they beg caretaker? We they beg landlord, old man, and they agree give us time. Money can't come now. You won't divert time. You said na corruption. Corruption, not in my house and not in my country.
Sure?
Sure.
Corruption not in my country. This message is brought to you by the Akin Fadeyi Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Corruption not in my country.
Kasali! Kasali, I hope so my car don't ready. I get interview in 30 minutes.
Ah, guy, you don't ready. I just the last minute instruction where you give me yesterday. Now in the cause more delay.
Which instruction?
Maybe now you say make I change the meter, make you not read again.
Which time did I make you change meter? Oh, Kasali, why you do like this now? Eh? You don't get sense. You don't read the text message. Nobody I want send them to. Like Kasali, my electrician, make it come house, call me do my meter so that you don't go to read again. You the electrician?
The electrician?
Yes, now.
So you call Kasali electrician, make it come help you adjust your meter, make it for no read again, Abi. So you said you want join people where be say they no want they pay NEPA bill again, Abi. Oga, you no good now. You don't you said you know they behave like tea, all these stiff people.
Oh, what you change from your motor? What you change from?
Two lights. Fuel gauge. Speedometer.
For what now? You for come out for home my motor. I better identify for me.
Okay. Now don't do something we corrupt. And do something come backfire. Now go come they find how to dodge them.
What you talk?
They greet you.
Corruption not in my
This
country.
message is brought to you by the Akin Fadayi Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Corruption not in my country.
What you want to buy?
Potato. Small baskets. I want plantain. But why your plantain can't hard like this?
Madam, now the outside hard. Inside there, it is very soft.
Madam, wallahi make her no buy am. Make her show you something.
Good evening once again, and thank you for joining us on the Press Roundtable on Atlantic Television Network. My name is Angel, whom I popularly called Angelic Angel, and co-anchoring with Susan. Abe is here. Susan, good to have you again.
Thank you.
On the show. It's really been a long time here.
That's right.
You're welcome back.
Thank you very much.
All right, this evening is my pleasure to introduce my guests, as usual, the one you know, Mr. Kingsley George Papamie. Sir, good to have you today on the show.
Sure, thank you.
I'm so grateful and so happy that you come up again to join us on the show. All right, now let's go to the main story of today. First of all, some unions have shut down their workplaces to comply with the directive of the two labor unions to embark on an indefinite nationwide strike. On Friday, the organized labor announced that they will be commencing a nationwide indefinite strike due to the refusal of the federal government to increase the proposed minimum wage from 60,000 naira. Now, according to the president of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Joe Ajaero, the strike will begin at midnight on Sunday, June 2nd, 2024. In a joint statement delivered by Ajaero and his trade union Congress counterparts, Festus Osifo, they expressed their serious concerns and disappointment over the federal government's failure to finalize and pass a new National Minimum Wage Act into law. Now, they also demanded that the government reverse the increase in electricity tariff to 65 kilowatts per hour. Now, recall that both unions had given an ultimatum of May 31st, 2024 for negotiations on the new minimum wage. However, talks between organized labor and the federal government broke down on Tuesday after both parties presented their offers. Okay, now the government increased its initial offer of 57,000 naira by adding 3,000 naira to make it 60,000 naira. This proposal was rejected by Labour during their meeting. Now, during the negotiation at their meeting, Labour also lowered their demand from last week's proposal of 497,000 naira by removing 3,000 naira, which reduced their new proposal to 494,000 naira. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, in a statement, addressed to the branch chairpersons and zonal coordinators of ASU on Monday. The association's president, Emmanuel Osodeke, directed lecturers in universities across the country to join the strike as an affiliate of the Congress. The statement reads, the NLC has declared an indefinite strike action beginning from Monday, that's today, 3rd June 2024, as a result of the failure of government to conclude the renegotiation of minimum wage for Nigerian workers and reversal of hike in electricity tariff. On Sunday, aviation unions directed its members to withdraw services across airports in Nigeria. That we're going to talk about later. The unions include the National Union of Air Transport Employees and the Air Transport Services Senior Staff Association of Nigeria. We're going to go into that later. But now let's come to this time. As you can see, the protests going on, the nationwide strike, the NLC, the TOC, ASU, 29 others, they join, they commence their strike. Remember, there has been a very big problem between the NLC and the government about the proposed minimum wage, and the government said from 57,000 naira they shifted it to 60,000 naira, and also the NLC, they said 497,000 naira, 90-something thousand naira, they also reduced 3,000 naira. So they are just struggling there with 3,000 naira. But now they said they must embark on strike. They've called on TCN. They talked about the electricity tariff, that it has to be reduced. But now they have impact on this indefinite strike. What do you think is going to be the impact of the strike to the economy?
Yes, I think already there's a breakdown of economic activities.
Yes.
That is one. Then secondly, I think the federal government is lying. The federal government is lying to Nigerians.
Okay.
That's just the truth of the matter. If we go back to the records, we can see that Nigeria spent over 500 billion in the last general elections. Only in the last general elections, they spent 500 billion naira in the last elections. And before the coming of President Bola Tinubu, the government of ex-president Muhammad Buhari was paying the fuel subsidy and other tariffs for Nigerians. And the economy has been going on without any disruption. Well, for a new president coming, everybody hoped that this president will call for a stakeholders meeting, as usual, to discuss the affairs of the country and then have a direction and a pathway to ensure that Nigerians have hope, according to his hope, renewed hope agenda. Nigerians will have hope, according to his renewed agenda. But at this point in time, the Nigerian and ordinary Nigeria do not have any hope. And we don't even know where we are going. We don't even know the next plan or the next action of the federal government. What we know is that when they wake up today, they will think of what to do. When they wake up tomorrow, they will think of what to do. I think Nigerians are tired. That's why it has come up to this level. Otherwise, we will not say that our president is not competent. We will not say that our federal lawmakers are not competent. We will not say that our ministers are not competent. But what we are saying is that this government is weak. The government is so weak in the sense that they do not have the first stage of plan on how to carry Nigerians along. If you are the president of the country, does not mean that you wake up one morning and say, subsidy, you are removing subsidy. All right? It's quite unfortunate. This is something that you know that the economy already is bad, and you should be thinking of how to fix it. Fixing it, you have to call the governors. Fixing it, you have to let the local government chairman know. Fixing it, you have to call prominent and stakeholders in this system that are leaders in our country. And then these leaders will come, put in their suggestions as an input. Now, right now, the system needs input that will bring about rapid economic growth. That should have been the first stage. If the refineries are bad, how do we fix our refineries? If there are no farms, how do we fix our farms? If there are no, let me just even throw this light back to what is happening in Morocco. Morocco, which is in North Africa, if you look at the economy right now, is growing very fast, just like the one in South Korea and in China.
Exactly.
Because they are all Asian countries. So they took the part of ensuring that they look on skills development first, which they felt is the problem of their economy. And about 600 universities, all right, in China was overnight converted to be skill acquisition centers. 600 universities. It's quite alarming. I did my research very well. That's what I'm talking. And today, if you look at the economy of China, if you look at the economy of Morocco, if you look at the economy of South Korea, they are doing very well. Because they looked at their problems first before looking at on what they will, what they will put on the citizens. But in this contest, the contest for which Nigerians are facing right now, is that they first of all throw the problems of the country on the burden on the citizens. When you know that this people just came out of the election period where Naira was scarce, and even the people at the rural areas suffered a lot, and then just about 3 to 4 months after that incident, you came up with fuel subsidy again. I don't know where this country is actually heading to. First of all, he should have called the stakeholders meeting to know the nitty-gritty of the problems of this country, if he's not aware. And then let people speak. Let ex-leaders speak. Let stakeholders speak and give their input. And then from there, you begin to assess what problem to take one after the other. And then when all the problems are settled in your first tenure, all right, in your first tenure, you must have sought all the problems. Thinking of how the refineries will be rehabilitated, and then ensuring that there are farms everywhere, ensuring that even the local government areas, there are farms everywhere, and people are integrated into entrepreneurship and skills. And then in your second tenure, you can come up with this arrangement to say, okay, let us remove subsidy and see how we can grow our economy very fast. People understand what you are doing. But in this regard, he came first, announced what has been his burden, because the burden of the past administrations of borrowing money and borrowing money and borrowing money has nearly collapsed the economy, and therefore it is the ordinary Nigerians that should carry the country on their head. It's alarming, and that is why even the workers are saying that we cannot die in pain. We cannot die in vain, because all of us have families, and if all of us also go to the same market, the way the federal lawmakers, does that mean, and other politicians go to market. How much is the cost of price of commodities in the market? How much? How much?
Exactly.
One bottle of kerosene now is about 2,000 naira. One bottle of kerosene is 2,000 naira. So imagine a family of 8, 10. How will they overcome it? And a little drop of curry is 1,005. All right?
No, I think it's about 4,000 naira.
I mean, the small one,
Okay, the very small.
The very small one is 1,005.
There's not even up to 5 cups.
It's not even up to even 10 cups.
Yeah.
And then in a family of 10, when you know that at this time when things are happening like this, is when most of the children are very hungry to eat.
So,
all right?
So what do you think? Now, I'm just trying to look at it.
Yes.
Do you think that this strike, they've been embarked on strikes several times in Nigeria. Now, if you look at what is actually happening in Nigeria and the strikes, they've embarked upon the last time, do you think they're going to achieve a reasonable thing this time around?
Yes.
Do you know since today and there's blackout everywhere?
Yes.
They shut down the national
everywhere. What with indication is that an hungry man is an angry man.
Now, but do you?
That's just the point.
Okay.
Nigerians are hungry and they're angry. So if the federal government refuse to wake up to their responsibilities at this time, saying that if they can spend 500 billion in the last election, 2003 election, how much will it cost them to feed Nigerians? How much has been the former administration of President Muhammad Buhari? How much have they been using to pay for subsidy? Then calculate how much the workers are demanding that you should give them every month. Calculate the difference that they will be paying for this subsidy, and if Nigerians are saying we are ready to pay, we are ready to go through the situation with you. All right, how much are they demanding that you cannot pay them? When Edo State government has said they can pay 70,000 naira, 7,000 naira, and the federal government is saying that 60,000 naira is what they can pay. Who is lying?
Now, if
who is lying between the two of them?
If you go to the market with that 60,000 naira,
yes,
as in when I mean if you have the cash of 60,000 naira, yes, you can hardly buy anything.
You can't buy anything. You can't buy anything.
You can't make a pot of soup with 10,000.
You can't.
You can't make a pot of.
That's for the cleaner. We're talking about this one. Yes, is for the cleaner.
10,000 naira. So so I think there's a need for them to do something before Nigeria.
As fast as possible.
We are at the verge of collapse.
As fast as possible.
Nigeria.
Because if the country is in blackout, which means that criminals will take over the situation, and if criminals take over the situation, will security agencies risk their life because of Nigeria? It's appalling. So we are saying that, or Nigerians are saying that, or the workers are saying that we are hungry. All right, the money for the subsidy would have been used to import food in the first place. Import, if it is rice, if it is beans, if it is curry, import food into the country and let people. Die in penury, and they should die without even saving 1 naira for themselves. It's quite alarming. So the government of President Bola Tinubu should wake up. If they don't wake up, of course, Nigerians are ready for them. Nigerians are ready for them. That's the truth of the matter.
Well, I think they really have to do something, because if
nothing
is done, I think there's so many issues that will erupt in Nigeria.
Very fast.
It's going to be so they have to do it urgently. Yes. It's a matter of urgency that they really need to sit down with the NLC President Joe Ajero. They really need to sit down and have a heart-to-heart discussion how to move Nigeria forward, because without this minimum wage being approved, like if they don't reach agreement, I think so many things will collapse in the situation. But I wanted to continue on the stories. Let's take the other stories still coming from minimum wage.
All right, on to our next story. In a decisive move to press home their demands for a new national minimum wage, the organized labor has shut down all entry points of aviation agencies at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Ikeja, Lagos, and the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja. The actions have severely disrupted flight operations, leaving passengers stranded at the entrances of the nation's busiest airports. The disruption followed the Aviation Union's directive to members to withdraw services across all airports in Nigeria, in compliance with a joint directive of NLC and TUC. Now on Friday, the organized labor members announced an indefinite nationwide strike, triggered by the federal government's refusal to increase the proposed minimum wage from 60,000 naira. The president of the Nigeria Labour Congress NLC, Joe Ajero, confirmed that the strike would commence at midnight on Sunday, June 2nd, 2024. Reading from a jointly prepared speech with his trade union Congress CUC counterpart, Festus Osifo, Ajero expressed grave concern and disappointment over the federal government's failure to finalize and enact a new National Minimum Wage Act. Additionally, they demanded a reversal of the increase in electricity tariffs to 65 kilowatts per hour.
All right.
All right. So now let's look at this situation now. Now the labor union is demanding for an increase for minimum wage from 60,000 naira to 494,000 naira. Now let me get your take on this. Is it realistic? Do you think this demand is realistic?
Yes, the demand is realistic in the sense that, as I still said earlier, Edo state government cannot lie. A state government cannot lie. Who take allocations from the federal government, they cannot lie, saying that they are competent to pay 70,000 naira. We expected the federal government to say, if Edo can pay 70,000 naira, we can pay 100,000 naira. At least let them start with 700,000 naira. Or else they should go back to the payment of the fuel subsidy and electricity tariff. Because citizens are tired of begging. From what is happening, you can see that the labor union have been begging for their rights, begging for their legitimate right. It's quite unfortunate. And the shutting down of the airports, I think that is the first criteria and the first action that is most commendable. Because this is where we see our leaders, trying to escape or running from pillar to post. Because at this time now, you see some of them running out of the country or running to nearby countries to hide. This time, there's nowhere to hide anymore. If anything is happening to Nigerians, all of us will collapse here. That's what they mean. All right? If anything wants to happen, let them stay here with the Nigerians to collapse. So what is the indication of this kind of action has gone too viral for other nations who respect Nigeria because of the kind of economy that we have, because of the kind of oil that we have, because of the kind of ideas and competence that we have. But at this time of the day, we see a government that is very weak. The government is very weak to the extent that they could not even feed their populace. The people who voted them into power, they are there enjoying what is due them. But what is due for the ordinary worker who leaves his house to come and do that all for you that you cannot do, yet you cannot honor him or honor them, is not acceptable. Nigerians are clearly angry. They are angry to the fact that they want government to give them a listening ear. Listening ear in the sense that whatever amount that federal government feel that they deserve, you give them. If you give them, and if you are managing an economy and the economy is not doing well, they too will understand that it's not doing well.
Yes.
You give them what they deserve. And if you have other infrastructural development that you want to undertake, let those ones come down first. Government should shut part of their infrastructural development and look more on the citizens. Because if people begin to die on the street, if people begin to die, they'll keep them on the streets. Because it's getting to that point. That's why people are alarming. It's getting to that point that people will be hungry, and if they don't have food to eat, they will die in their houses and they'll bring them to the streets. That's where it is going. Because people can no longer contain the high price of goods in the market. That's their cry. Otherwise, the money that they are paying them, nobody is saying that is the money that will be earning all this while. But that because of the effects of the government's policy, is telling more on the people. And the people are crying. If they will not hear the one that happened yesterday, they should hear this one. Because this one is quite alarming. In every household, from the grassroots to the top, in the civil service, and in the other private sectors, is alarming. Because there is no amount of money they will pay you that you can even save 1 naira before the end of the month. You eat all of them and even look for where to borrow. That's what is happening. So they should come to the aid of the citizens and feel the impact and make them understand that government is actually caring for them. We expected that before this time they were sharing the rice and the other commodities to states. That is not what Nigerians want. Nigerians want government to import these foods and ask people, traders, to come and buy from government, all right, at a cheaper rate, so that the other ones that are coming from other sectors will reduce their prices. That's what we expected. rice, curry, yam, import them and give to people. Oil, other goods that are commodities that are very costly in the market, make them available. Because even kerosene now is which our refineries can produce is at high cost of rate, high cost. So how can the ordinary Nigerian survive? How can the ordinary Nigerian who is not earning salary, all right, how can he or she survive? So they are encouraging crime and criminality in Nigeria. It is the federal government that is encouraging it. Otherwise, at this point in time, we expect our country and Nigeria to feel the impact of the citizens. Rather, they are not feeling the impact of the citizens and they are putting one naira, 3,000. What is 3,000 that you give to the citizens? What is 3,000 naira? It's quite unfortunate. We expect that even our leaders, the people in the national, our lawmakers in the National Assembly, our ministers, to sacrifice part of their salary, sacrifice it, and say 50% of our salaries should be added, you know, to the subsidy and let the subsidy reduce. That should have been the impact. Even this subsidy is supposed to be carried by the politicians, because we make our political offices very lucrative. And as we make them very lucrative, that is why all the time when they go there, they forget about the people. But if it's not lucrative, they will remember that it is not me that will enjoy it. It is the people that voted me that will enjoy it. That's how it's supposed to be. But in this case, it's only you and your family that is enjoying. Whereas people that voted into power could not even see one naira to survive. It's quite alarming. This is the time that the Nigerian leaders should wake up. Look at what Obasanjo said. Obasanjo made it very clear last week. He made it very clear that Nigeria is dwindling down. Before the strike came up. All right? I know that if the period of Obasanjo's administration, it would have taken, the matter would have taken such a dimension. So I want the presidency and National Assembly to think again and then look for that source of revenue to cushion this effect. Otherwise, Nigeria is heading to a doom. And the calamity that is coming is that criminals will come into the streets and with arms and begin to kill our security officers and do more of insecurity in this country. So we are begging them, we are by all means begging the Nigerian government, by all means, to please hear the cry of the ordinary Nigerians and feed them. Feed them. If it is feeding that they want, feed them. Just feed them. And then they will move the country forward with you. That's what they want.
All right. Now let's look at the impact
Yes.
of the shutdown of the aviation sector,
yes,
the impact it has on economic activities going on in the country. Now, people have to move from one destination to another to carry out their businesses and all of that. What's your take on this?
Yeah, they think it's a huge loss. All right? That's what we're saying. It's a huge loss.
Very big one.
And for 1 week, if there will be no air flights, Nigeria is going to experience a lot of loss. Huge loss.
We're going to lose a whole lot of money. Because we have revenue coming out from that.
From that source.
Exactly. From that source. So it's already there. Now imagine I know of a person today. Is one of my relatives. He's already booked flight from here to Abuja to have a very serious meeting.
Yes.
But now the flight is being cancelled. Everything, so they were all stranded at the airport. And you can imagine the effects. Now the person did not go for the business again. They didn't get the money. Probably, who knows if they will refund them or not. So there is going to be this problem, you know. Now nobody is leaving. What about those who booked flight from here to London to outside country?
Yes. For a special meeting,
It's
quite unfortunate.
Now everything is now shut down.
Grounded.
Everything is grounded. That's the word. So how are we going to recover all this? And are you just looking at it? How are we going to recover all this?
So
the impact is so strong. So I think at this point we are calling on the federal government to hasten their actions. Yes. Because if they don't, I believe even the banks, the banks join them.
Yes.
The national grid was locked down, like I said earlier. Now, all these things are going to affect every sector.
Yes. Even the maritime.
The maritime, it's going to affect
shipping of the oil and all the rest is grounded.
Yes. Yeah. So now that it is like this, where are we heading to? What is the way forward? Just in a very few sentences.
Yes, I think the way forward is that as I said before, negotiation is a continuous process.
Okay.
It doesn't end until when both parties, all right, agree on the terms of agreement.
Yeah.
And not only agree on the terms of agreement, because we know that this government is weak. We want to see where they should have the political will. Having the political will to ensure that what is agreed is implemented and the people are happy with the government. This is a government that, even from the onset, they should have been commending the government. The government did not see the impact of the sufferings of these common Nigerians during the elections. If you see how these Nigerians suffered in this 2023 elections, you will never believe that Nigerians can endure such situations.
Well,
and yet, even they came up to this point to say, okay, this is what we need, and the government is not giving them. And then the government is sitting there. No. We don't accept it. It's unacceptable.
All right. This is quite unacceptable, and something really has to be done. There should be negotiation, like you said, as a continuous process. Once you have wonderful negotiation, I think you reach an agreement that will really favor everyone, both the government and the citizens, because this is telling on everyone. It's telling on the citizens, it's telling on both the children, the students, everywhere now is affected. So if the government should allow this thing to still continue from now till tomorrow or next tomorrow, we are going to lose billions of naira. So I think they have to look into the matter concerning this minimum wage issue should be resolved. We want to embark on a very short break. When we come back, we continue with the stories.
We just vote for government, but we not get good governance.
At all.
Roads so no day, light usa, the infrastructure it can't turn to be forbidden fruit for the city.
Corruption, spoil everything. Hello?
Hello, madam. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Mrs. Ayeni. I am calling from the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs.
Okay, I've been expecting your call.
Madam, remove this your phone from loudspeaker.
No verse, now my phone be like that. Hello?
Are you there?
I hear, I'm hearing you.
Yes. We saw a copy of your invoice for computers, printers, and laptops.
Yes. Are you working on them now?
Ma, the prices you quoted are way too high now.
Madam, sorry, please don't cost.
We found the laptop you said is 1.8 million naira for 600,000 naira.
Hello?
Now my body network there.
I can't hear you. Network is bad.
Madam, we can hear you. Continue.
Hello, I can't hear you. I will call you back.
That behavior not good now.
Madam, now this kind behavior they kill our country. You suppose do things differently, make Nigeria for better.
Corruption not in my country.
This message is brought to you by the Akin Fadehi Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Corruption not in my country.
I don't get a lot. Boy, they won't booga me small. They say, man, give them bribe. I say, nothing. Okay, now, we'll go block later. You remember that contract we will do that time now? They don't pay.
But first, you see the house rent with the old things. We go first call caretaker, take the money, slap him.
Beg, see, you know, say I get annual levy why they pay for club. Where me and boys they shark beer in our house, I supposed to pay that one. You remember say me and tell you I go buy you motor. I go buy now.
Okay, they pay you money now. We don't they beg caretaker, where would they beg landlord, old man, and they agree give us time. Money can't come now, you won't divert time. You said na corruption. Corruption, not in my house and not in my country.
Sure?
Sure.
Corruption not in my country.
This message is brought to you by the Akin Fadehi Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Corruption not in my country.
Kasali! Kasali, I hope so my car don't ready. I get interview in 30 minutes.
Okay, you don't ready. I just the last minute instruction where you give me yesterday. Now in the cause more delay.
Which instruction?
Maybe now you say make I change the meter, make you no read again.
Which time I make you change meter? Oh, Kasali, why you do like this now? You don't get sense. You don't read the text message. Nobody I want send them to. Like Kasali, my electrician, make you come house, call me do my meter so that you don't go to read again. You the electrician?
The electrician.
Yes, now.
So you call Kasali electrician, make you come help you adjust your meter, make it for no read again, Abi. So you said you want join people where be say they no want they pay NEPA bill again, Abi. Oga, you no good now. You don't you said you don't behave like all these stiff people.
Oh, what you change from your motor? What you change from?
Full light. Fuel gauge. Speedometer.
For what you know, you for come over home my motor. I better identify for me.
Glad to have you back on the show. This is Atlantic Television Network Press Roundtable. The authorities of the University of Ilorin in Kwara State have expelled a 100-level student, Olanrewaju Abdul Kadir, for allegedly demanding ransom for the parents of his missing colleague. Abdul Kadir's expulsion was confirmed in the university's weekly bulletin signed by the Director of Corporate Affairs, Kunle Akogun. The expelled student with matriculation number 22528L004 is of the Department of Information Technology and Faculty of Communication and Information Sciences of the university. The university has also rusticated a 400-level student, Shegu Michael Oyewole, for beating a fellow female student. Oyewole, who was rusticated for one academic session, is from the Department of Counselor Education, Faculty of Education of the university. So we're now talking about the student who demanded for ransom. He was really expelled. He demanded ransom for his missing colleagues. You know, when he called them that he needed ransom to be paid. But the school in Ilorin, this is happening in Ilorin, they looked into the matter and saw that this guy has really done a very bad and sacrilegious thing according to some of the students, and later he was expelled. Do you think it was right for them to expel him?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I think
now, do you think it's going to really make an impact on the students, like serving as a deterrent to some of those people who may have that desire? And you really know that even outside that, do you know that, have you seen a student who faked his own kidnapped and demanded the ransom from his parents?
Yeah, I've heard it before. Yes,
you've heard it, right?
Yes.
Because I've seen such a situation, and such persons may also be hiding there in the school without anyone knowing who they are, or what they are thinking about, or who they are. So I believe that this will really serve as a deterrent to some persons.
Yes.
And like I asked, what's your take on that?
Yes, first of all, the student is a principal suspect. The student himself, that is demanding for the ransom, is a principal suspect. That should be the angle of the police. The police should ask the student why he should demand the money or the ransom on behalf of the abductors. Because ordinarily, he should be sympathizing with the parents on this situation, and then also giving relevant information that he knows about the missing person to the police and other security agents to see how he or she is going to ensure the rescue of the missing person. But where he or she is bargaining, right, bargaining for the missing person, it does appear that that person has at least 70% of the whereabouts of the missing person. All right? Otherwise, you will not demand for what you know will put you into serious trouble. And as we keep saying, most of these incidences that occur in this kind of academic environment is, of course, nothing less than the fact that there is no money. All right? And there is no enough money for the student to carry on with his or her studies. Otherwise, the concentration of the student will not even go on the missing person, which he or she knows that will be in the care of the security agents and the parents of the missing person. He do not even have a role to play. But because of his love for money, because of the love for money and the intention already of the intention that the person has, all right, to get money from either knowing that maybe the missing person's parents have enough money, all right, and he wants to feed from there. Okay. That is wrong. And I want to say that this is all about criminality. That that prime suspect is a criminal. He's just hiding under the canopy of the university.
Yeah, because if he wasn't expelled, I know he may have, he will, you know, in subsequent times commit other crimes.
Other crimes, even such, he has already committed other crimes before now. This could not be the first.
This
Otherwise,
might not be the first.
If it is the first, all right, it would have not taken this dimension.
I think
he came out very clear, very bold.
Yes.
He came out very clear and very bold. Otherwise, if he's a student that went there for academics, all right, he will not even have time putting himself in such shoes, because he knows that at the end of the day, if he's a student of mass communication and information studies, he should have known that, you know, this kind of information, need to be treated very confidentially, all right, very, very confidentially. But this time, it's the actor that is acting the film. All right. It's the person that is acting the film.
All
so
right.
He has shown
he
has shown his character and his attitude. That even if he graduates, he's going to look on this side, not the academics anymore. He's going to look on criminality. Exactly. So it's better for the student at the university to throw him out of the system.
And other universities and polytechnics should also borrow a lift, you know,
yes,
from what happened.
From what is happening.
So that they will also try to fish out those people who have these criminal tendencies, exactly, or who are also, you know, perpetrating such crimes in the schools.
Exactly.
You know, when you expel them, other ones should now take their studies seriously. True. But let's just, in a very quick one, let's look at a 70-year-old man who was nabbed, who was arrested, you know, for drugs and then engaging in some drugs. Operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency have arrested a 70-year-old grandfather with 57.2 kg of cannabis in Nasarawa State, and also seized over 2.1 billion naira codeine based syrup and allowed a synthetic cannabis strain at the Port Harcourt Seaport and the Molitara Mohammed International Airport in Lagos. Okay, now we're talking about this operatives arresting this man, yes, and seizing this kind of I think it's really much. Okay, yes. Now look at the man. Look at the man. A 70-year-old man.
It's quite unfortunate.
Now, when we tell people there are also old fools.
Yes.
That someone is aged doesn't mean that the person has sense. That someone is aged doesn't mean that the person will do the right thing.
No.
Because you also have, look at him now. He has been arrested. He's a grandfather. You understand? Some narcotics, some things, and he's from Nasarawa State. But we're not talking about the state he came from. But we're talking about having this gut and mind at this age. What are you going to teach your children? And being a grandfather for such,
yes,
perpetrating such crimes, being a drug dealer for a long time, and now at this age, he's been nabbed. He's going to face the full wrath of the law, right? he's going to be jailed.
Yes.
What do you think could be the impact to the family members?
Yes, first of all, you know, sometimes, first of all, we should caution the man for involving himself in such criminal activity. That is one. Then secondly, you know, most of our stakeholders do not know, of the people of this age, do not know that they need to retire even from the age of 60. They need to retire from these kind of things and think of how they will put themselves into activities or businesses that will make them sit at a place. All right? You sit at a place and you do meaningful things. But in this case, here he's on the road. He's on the road jumping from one local government to jumping from one state to the other at this kind of age. No, it's quite worrisome. It's quite worrisome. I think we need to advise people who are into drug addiction or sale of drugs to desist, because we are thinking about how to build our society and not to destroy it. This kind of act is destroying our youths, is destroying our society, and it's destroying our generation. So government should keep on giving the citizens orientation on how to desist from this kind of activity.
We also want
because it's not helping the society at all.
We also want to commend the actions of the NDLEA
during
their search operations.
They're doing well.
You know, fishing out the suspects, you know, attempting to smuggle drugs in other parts of the country or even in.
And then nabbing them, tracking them.
So I think we really have to commend them for this job. Well done.
Well done.
And then those people flying, you know, traveling, they also have to be very careful, because do you know that some persons will have this intention when they are traveling, they will put it in another person's bag. Have you ever heard of that story happened?
Oh, I've heard of
some persons carrying, instead of them to be caught, once they've cited this NDLEA, they will put it in another person's bag and the person will be nabbed. I've seen that kind of story. So I think everybody have to be vigilant.
Yes.
If you're traveling, whatever you're carrying, you have to be vigilant, you know, and be mindful of what you are going with, whatever it is. And in this cannabis, I think it's really has destroyed a lot of persons.
A lot of families, a lot of youths.
Yes, the drug abuse, people are not even taking, some of them are not taking it serious. You see people taking drug, loud, marijuana, they take it in a very large quantity.
And the people that sell these drugs, what we understand is that most of them are using means that will continue to attract their buyers
like that.
So I think a lot of sensitization need to be done, a lot of sensitization, so that the people will desist from it and put a stop on it.
Exactly.
So that our society can grow, because our society is collapsing.
All right. Okay, so at this point we want to commend the security agencies, the NDLEA, for a job well done. And that's how much we can take for today on Press Roundtable. You can stay connected on ATN socials. You can follow and like our page. We are on Twitter on Atlantic TV Net. We're on Facebook. We are on YouTube on Atlantic Television Network. We're also on Instagram, on TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1. You can join us live on our website on atlanticnetwork.tv. This is Press Roundtable. Press Roundtable, we provide the right narrative and news narration. Remember, at 9 o'clock, we shall be coming up with the global news, peace and unity are the pathways to progress. My name is Angel. Welcome. I'm thanking you so very much. Angelic Angel is my name as well. And I want you to thank you very much, Kingsley Papami, for coming up on the show again. Thank you so very much. So please do stay tuned for the rest of our programs, mainly the Global 9.